Hey everybody, it's Chad with Nobody Else's Auto. Thanks for coming by and hanging out with us at Nobody's Show tonight. Tonight, we're going to talk to you or show you the toys and cans we got in Missouri at the Springfield Swap Meet this past weekend. Most of this come from the Swap Meet. Got a couple of these pieces at the Ozark Antique Mall in Ozark, Missouri, down between Springfield and Branson. So if you're ever down in that area, I highly recommend that one. That's a good one. Ozark Antique Mall usually has some cool gearhead, man cave type stuff. So we always hit that. Got a few of these pieces there. Got the rest of it at the Swap Meet. Monday night, we brought you the signs. So tonight, we're going to bring you the toys and the cans that we picked up. So I guess we can start over here. A couple of these, they need to be cleaned up. So we got them on paper towels. We got a Troco, I think it's Troco, T-R-O-C-O grease. 1 pound grease can. Different can that I am not real familiar with. It looks like it was red or an orange color with a square type logo in the middle. We'll see how it cleans up and see what it looks like when we get her cleaned up. But kind of a different one, not a real common one, and not one that I've been real familiar with. The next can we've got here also is one that needs to be cleaned up. It's a larger grease can from the Oklahoma Tire and Supply Company. And Oklahoma Tire and Supply, a lot of people wonder what that is. Well, there's another name it's more commonly known by. It was shortened to Otasco, which was a pretty common, home and auto store back in the 60s and 70s, but started as Oklahoma Tire and Supply Company. We've got a massive porcelain sign for the Oklahoma Tire and Supply Company. It's about a 30-footer. It's got like 3 big chunks of 8 foot plus 2 ends on the 2 shields on the end, just like this shield here. So it's a beast. So we've got that big porcelain sign. So I thought, well, shoot, there's a cool can of Oklahoma Tire and Supply Company. Let's get that to kind of go with it. Next can we've got here. When my daughter Addie first started getting into this, she was a huge Texaco nut. We've got tons of Texaco cans, dozens and dozens and dozens of Texaco cans. We found a Texaco can that we didn't have, so we picked it up. It's a Texaco snowmobile oil. That's a little different. Up north, it's probably a fairly common can, but around here, it's something we haven't seen. Light blue instead of a green on it with the logo. Really nice can, brand new, still full. Snowmobile oil with Royal Guard. So it was kind of weird seeing a Texaco can that we didn't have, so we picked that one up. The last can we got was a polishing cloth can, Western Deluxe Auto Polish Cloth, with a really cool graphic of a car on it, wax treated. For automobiles and furniture. I guess it worked for both. It covered you on both sides. It is a Western Auto can. Western Auto Supply Company. So that's another nice can, and I believe this still has the cloth in it. Yep, still got the polishing cloth in it. So kind of a cool piece. So there's some of the cans that we brought home for our collection. Now let's get into some toys. We got a couple of these old hard rubber trucks. Picked these up at the Ozark Antique Mall. They're not pristine by any means. They've got a few cracks in them, some scuffs, some scratches. The front's kind of banged up a little bit. They were used, they were played with. But a really cool Art Deco design, the way the fender swooped back in them. Cool colors. This was like a box truck type thing. Had set up with 3 axles underneath this one. Not a pristine toy, but just so cool with the way the fenders flowed back in and the cab design. Really great stuff. This is also a hard rubber toy, similar type thing. Cool designs, Art Deco type, cab over style cab, flowing fenders, flowing lines. Just cool looking stuff. Like I said, they're not pristine, they're not mint by any means, but just good looking stuff, So picked up a couple of those. Picked up one actual Hot Wheels brand, Redline. And this one was the Gremlin Grinder, based on an AMC Grimmy with some sort of a supercharged type engine. Still has a Redline wheels on it. A few chips in it, but Not a real common red line. Definitely not one that you see every day. The grinding gremlin, or gremlin grinder, excuse me. So grab that. And then the last couple toys we picked up, Cannonball Run toys. You gotta love Cannonball Run. Great movies. This one's still carded. This Ferrari that the priest Sammy Davis Jr. drove in the movie, still carded. You know, brand new, never been out. Cannonball Run logo on the hood. So that's always just cool. Dated 1981. Info on the back. Recreate the adventures of the Cannonball Run with your very own replica of the Cannonball Run cars. So this one's still a carded piece. We picked up one more Cannonball car that is not carded. The Sheik's Rolls Royce. Still has the Cannonball stickers on the doors. This is not carded, so it's been used, but it's really nice for being, you know, almost 40 years old. The Rolls Royce Silver Shadow. This was the car that the Sheik drove. So, nothing real big or real exciting. A bunch of small stuff, but a bunch of really cool stuff. And the Cannonball Run stuff, we love the Cannonball Run. You gotta love Cannonball Run. They were great movies. And there's a great story behind it. Brock Yates, who actually originated the Cannonball, wrote a book called The Cannonball Run. I read it a couple times. Great book. I highly recommend it. The stories that happened during the actual cannonballs, because there were actual cannonballs. The movies were based on the actual Cannonball Run. So highly recommend reading that book too. And obviously the movies were hilarious. So always love to add toys to our collection that tie to the other things that we like that are automotive related. So
on the rubber, the all rubber toys, what's the potential, or is there any potentiality of worths in that? Like in a certain, like, I mean, I've never even heard of all rubber toys. So,
well, I mean, they're worth what they're worth. You can't really restore them. I mean, these have, like we looked at, some nicks and some chips, some cracks, because they were played with. They're not high dollar toys by any means, but the purpose of collecting and you know, one of the things that we strive to push to a lot of people, the purpose of collecting, you don't have to have $20,000 neon signs to have cool stuff. You can buy some of this stuff. This stuff's 10 or 20 bucks. But you know what? It's still cool. We still enjoy it. We still like it. So are these ever going to be real high dollar, extremely valuable collectibles? No. Do they look cool? Heck yeah, they look cool.
Mm-hmm.
And
what year was that?
I'm guessing these are probably 40s, maybe even late 30s. I don't even know. Because it comes right back to what we just talked about. Why do we buy them? Because they're cool. They're cool. They look cool on the shelf. You just sit there and you enjoy them because it's great. The styling and the colors, and that's what we like, and that's why we pick some of that stuff up. It doesn't have to be fancy or high dollar or extravagant. Small stuff can still be cool.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Anyway, that's what we picked up there. Toys and cans from Springfield. What else is coming up? The big announcement we keep telling you about. I'm hoping to have the paperwork this week. Once we have the paperwork, we're going to do a huge live. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be exciting. But the attorneys called me last week. They said they were supposed to have the paperwork this week. I have not heard back from them yet. I got to call them tomorrow. Once we get that paperwork signed and done, you guys are going to be super stoked to see what this thing is, because it's big. It's big, big. So we're really excited to bring that to you. F&E Collector Auto Auction coming up. New cars going on the website, feclassiccarauction.com. Almost daily stuff popping up there. Shot a lot of cool video for that today. Check us out on Facebook or under F&E Collector Auto Auction, or at our website at feclassiccarauction.com. Lots of cool stuff coming up there. So we're gearing up for that. Consignments are coming in, so keep an eye on that for both memorabilia and vehicles. So we do a pretty big mix of vehicles. We do some project cars. We do some lower dollar cars, some $2,000, $5,000, $10,000 stuff. So, you know, everybody can play, and we do some higher dollar stuff too. We try to get a good mix in there for that. So make sure to keep an eye on that. So anyway, super busy, lots of stuff going on, being gone part of last week at the Springfield Swap Meet. Had a good time down there. This is the other stuff we picked up from there. So if we don't have any questions tonight, I guess we'll wrap it up, and we will plan on seeing you Friday. Thanks for being here, and thanks for watching, everybody.